All right, here we are with another Elite Tools from Pickwick Lake. That's right. All the baits that I used to catch the fish that I weighed in Bassmaster Elite Series competition is coming to you right now. Did not have a very good finish, but that doesn't mean I was using bad stuff. I really feel like I had a little bit of off timing and just wasn't in the right areas to catch the fish. But I did catch a number of keepers. And I had, let's see, three different baits that I used to catch most of my keepers. Now, the first day, the first keeper I caught was on the Spro Little John DD70. I was using this color called Homeboy. I wanted to call it John Deere, but they were worried about copyright infringements. Maybe that's a popular name or brand. Of course it is. But anyway, my little John Deere, Little John color. I was using that, fishing a hump that came out and it kind of made a point, had some bait fish on it. I was alternating between Cellmate, which is probably my all-time favorite color of crankbait, and this. I wanted a reaction color, and sure enough, the one that ate that absolutely had it choked down. And I was using 12-pound Sunline Sniper on the reel. That's a Shimano Corrado DC because it casts from here to the moon. That's the only Shimano reel I actually use. It's a 7-to-1, so you can really crank it. It's got those bigger gears in there, but that DC, you can really zip it out there a long way. I've had these for a few years. And Cashion Icon deep crank rod, that is a huge part of what I deep crank with. That rod is 710. It is a very long rod, and you can see the butt on it is not super long. So you've got a lot of leverage from the reel to the rod tip. There's a lot of leverage, and you can just grab that thing and heave it and get way out there. A big part of deep cranking is making long casts, and that's kind of what I was doing. Deep plugs were not very effective for me in general. Again, I don't think I was quite on the right areas. I never found the right areas to catch good fish. But another bait that I used to catch fish the first and second day was the old ball and chain, aka the double splash, aka Carolina rig. I was using that and had a 3/4 ounce weight on there with a glass bead and a little Carolina ticker, I think is what it's called. That little black round disc there. It's helps protect your knot. Spro power swivel. Had that. My main line is 20-pound Sunline shooter, and then my leader was 14-pound Sunline shooter, and that was the combo there. Had a missile baits. I was kind of alternating when it was real sunny. I was fishing down closer to the dam with this one. This is a GP3 color, 3/0 Gamakatsu round bend worm hook, and I was also alternating that. And I probably caught more keepers on Green Pumpkin Flash. That's probably my #1 color of all time on the Baby Destroyer. Baby Destroyer, you can see that little jewel there. It's got the ribbed body. There's little cute little arms on the sides, and then the double twin tail on the back with the flappers. It's just it's 5-inch bait overall. You can see it in my hand. It's not huge, but man, I've caught smallmouth spots, largemouth up to 8 pounds on it, and that was probably my #1 keeper getter for me at Pickwick. But on day 2, I mixed it up a little bit, changed gears. We had a little bit of cloud cover, but right as we were taking off at 7 a.m., an hour and a half after daylight, the clouds started to break up. I said, I'm gonna do it anyway. So I went and fished topwater for a little bit. I got a few decent topwater bites in practice, and this is a new Spro walking bait. It's a testing bait. This is obviously bone color, and it is honestly, I can't remember the name of it, but it's coming out soon. So keep an eye out for it. But I caught about a 2 3/4 pound smallmouth, and then a nice 2-pound largemouth keeper on it the second day. They absolutely trashed it. I mean, just blasted the thing on top water. Really cool bites. A lot of fun. I was throwing it on 50-pound Sunline X Plasma braid. That is the deal there. I had that on Cashion medium heavy, and I believe okay, it's the only other Shimano reel I have. Everything else is Daiwa. I mean, like, these are the only two, seriously. But this is just an old Chronarch. I just happened to have it. It had 50-pound braid on it. I wasn't planning on throwing topwater. I saw it in the box, so I just grabbed it out. If I had time, I probably would have switched it over to one of my Daiwa Tatulas, but I didn't have one ready, and 50-pound was the deal there. And one other cool little trick is that I didn't feel like I was getting the right. I felt like it could have a little more action. This thing has a real loud rattle in it, and it sachets real good. But for some reason, when I tied it directly, it had a split ring on it. I didn't like the split ring, so I took the split ring off. And usually I just, on spook style baits, I'll tie directly to the front with a Palomar knot. And I didn't feel like the first couple hits on it, I wasn't getting it to sachet like I wanted to. When that bait hit, I wanted it to basically just sachet almost immediately. And there's a lot of the places that I was fishing, I was throwing to the bank, kind of near overhangs and stuff. And when it landed in there, I wanted it to start walking immediately. So what I did is I tied a loop knot on there and put a little tab of super glue on there. So that bad boy, man, as soon as it hit, that bait would hit, and I would just touch it, and it would just jump to the side. It would start knocking. It was really, really cool. But again, Cashion 7-foot medium heavy rod. This is one of my old school Elite rods. They've got a topwater jerkbait rod I already had rigged up for jerkbaits that I didn't end up using, but I had those ones already rigged up. But that's old tried and true right there. But those are my 3 main baits that I used at Pickwick. Didn't have, like I said, didn't have the greatest tournament, had a terrible tournament, but I still caught fish. Looking back on it, I was using baits that a lot of the guys were using in the top 10. I was not throwing, big swim baits. Maybe I should have done that a little bit more. Looked like it was definitely a deal to trigger some bigger ones. And I was throwing somewhat the Missile Baits Magic Worm, the new bait we have coming out very, very soon. But 2nd place and 6th place, Cody Huff and Brian Schmidt were using those baits in a heavy part of their arsenal. They caught the majority, both of them caught the majority of their fish on that Magic Worm. And so I'm very happy, very pleased about that. And maybe I'll learn how to find places good enough to throw the Magic Worm, because I promise you they eat it. So got to get myself back into gear for the next one. We got a little time off. Got about a month off before the next Elite Series event, and I'm gonna try to get myself together and be ready to go kick some butt up in New York. So I appreciate everybody watching. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to drop them down there. I'll be sure to answer them as soon as I can, and we'll try to keep you informed, and we'll all learn together. And if you think there's something that I should have been throwing, they're like, hey, bro, I can't believe you didn't throw blah. Drop it down there. Let's hear it. Let's hear what you got. So I appreciate everybody watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks.